Alright. Let's see here. Fetching video stream. This can take a few seconds. I don't want it to take a few seconds. I need this to be live now. Let's add a title, shall we? Go live. There we go. Now we're live. Alright. Now how do I share that I am live? Alright. And let me just go ahead and bring this up. Where's that fella at? There we go. Leave the page. Go ahead. I need to show some people some stuff. I have more than this now, thank you. Man, this is aggravating. If anybody's watching, just give me a second. $129. I don't know if anybody is on here, but I've got this up here just in case, so I can read comments. But this will be posted to my YouTube as well, of the same name. Nope, did not want to do that. Anybody in here? And it's still getting replies. I wonder how to stream on Twitch and alright. Already selected the service. Anyways, let's see here. Doesn't look like anybody's in here yet. Nope, nobody cares. Alright, well, even if nobody's going to be on here, just for the simple fact I'm going to upload this to the YouTube page and everything of that nature. Kind of what kicked off the idea for this, other than a helping hand of somebody giving me a little push. So Sci-Fi took and posted an article, and it's about James Gunn fired as director of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 after offensive social media post resurface. Now, the offensive social media posts that they're talking about are these right here, which have been dug up from, let's see, April of 2009 to, I think the oldest one I've seen is 2011, 2012. Now, granted, these don't make him look like a choir boy. That is for sure. However, I think what a lot of the problem is this person that decided to dig this stuff up took the stuff that just out of context, and it worked perfectly because nobody paid attention to the actual what's being said in the whole entire thing. They see feels like when Uncle Bernie fist me. They don't see the hashtag sad children books, the Hardy Boys and the mystery of what it feels like when, they don't see the whole context. Now I'm not at all defending none of this, but it's clear this was all for shock value. Now Disney, they had to know about this before they took and hired the man. I mean, he even took and apologized for this stuff after the fact. 5, 6 years ago. So I mean, it's not like they didn't know. They probably had something written into his contract to take and direct the movies for them. But what gets me is not so much the tweets themselves. The tweets themselves, you take them as you want to. I mean, you can take and see these are jokes. A lot of these are jokes. Plain and freaking simple. Now this one right here, you can't, it's archived. You can see it right here, http archive.is. You're not going to be able to take and go back and find that exact tweet and see what the whole conversation is because it's a retweet. It's a retweet. He could have been arguing with somebody, but you do not know. He could have been pointing somebody out, but you do not know. But besides that, just what gets me about this, and you can take and see in my post or my comment, South Park and Family Guy have Kitty Diddley references, and they're joked about. Now, I've had people go, oh, wait a minute, but they're taking and showing how, no. They're not showing anything about how awful it is. South Park, for their part, they have taken and they took and Cartman joins Nambla. Now, it was done as a joke. At the end, they do show how bad, how it's wrong. However, the episode itself and the hilarity that's in it is making fun of it. Now, a lot of people are going, you should never take and make fun of stuff like pedophilia or child or rape or anything like that. Look, number one, if you're going to watch shit like that, you can't make that kind of assertion. You just can't, because it's a double standard. I'm sorry, if it's not funny from a personal tweet and you can't joke about it in person, then if art takes and mirrors life, then the writers of these shows are definitely, they've got a sick sense of humor apparently, because they think this stuff is funny as well. Otherwise they wouldn't write it into the show. Regardless of how you want to take and look at it, that's exactly what the deal is. It's plain and simple. Is my whole thing is, and my whole thing was, is this faux outrage culture that we've got going on. If somebody says something, and it doesn't matter if it's said today, or it doesn't matter if it's said 15 years ago, all somebody has to do is find that. Either the audio from it, or the text, or the tweet, or Facebook post, or what. It doesn't matter from how long ago it was. It could have been on MySpace. Even after MySpace was taken off. Could have been on any of that. Does not matter. Does not matter one bit. And the reason why is somebody's normally it's for a hit job. They're trying to take and bring somebody down. This time it was done by conservatives at the Daily. I think it was after he got into it with Ben Shapiro, calling Ben Shapiro an asshole. Which, I don't know anybody's thoughts on Ben Shapiro, but he's a conservative, so he has some ideas that piss a lot of people off. But he got into a Twitter war with Ben Shapiro. One of the people that work where Ben Shapiro is an editor-in-chief decided to go back. Let's see, 2009, that's almost 10 years ago, to 2012. So 9 to 6 to 9 years ago is when these were done. And you can see he hasn't done any kind of jokes like that since then. Now, there was one that was here recently that somebody tweeted to him, but I mean, seriously. And if that's the reason why he got fired, all right, cool. I can understand that. If that's the reason why everybody's pissed off, I can kind of understand that too. But that was also a joke link. So again, it's faux outrage, and that's the thing that gets me. It's this faux outrage culture that we've got going on. All it takes is for you saying something that is not popular or misconstrued in any sort of way, whether it's being sexist, misogynistic, racist, or anything of the sort, and you're shouted down, and people try to destroy you. And I'm sorry, that's a groupthink mentality, and this nation was not founded for groupthink mentality. We were founded as a republic, so the individual matters. It's the reason why we're not a democracy. Yes, we have a democratic form of government. We are not a democracy. The mob does not rule. We see our last presidential election is a perfect example of that. Hillary Clinton won the popular vote by 2.1 million votes, so 0.007%. However, Trump won because he got more of the counties across the nation that make up the electorate. And the electorate is how you're elected, not the popular opinion, because otherwise people that live in places like California, especially in towns like LA, San Fran, Chicago, New York City, places like that, at the Beltway there around Washington, if it was by popular vote, all it would take is those places right there all getting together and voting for one candidate. All I have to do is take and win a couple little stuff smattered here and there, and they'd win the presidency. Thankfully, it's not like that. But this faux outrage culture that we have going on today, it's just really, it's funny. Everybody's talking about, oh, you're fascist. They're fascist. They're fascist. No, the attitude that you have is fascist. Because to be honest with you, I would say it kind of reminds me of Hitler's brown shirts, really. Taking and going around and taking down or taking out anyone who was against the party line. Same with Mussolini and the squads he had there in Italy during World War II. Mussolini was a fascist. Mussolini ran a fascist form of government, or at least modern fascist. The classical term for fascist government dates back to the days of Socrates and Plato and Aristotle, where businesses basically ran the country. That's fascism. Corporations, businesses, people of money with business interests taking to run the country. Modern day corporatism, really, but still. Anyways, we'll take and get into nationalism and fascism later on down the road. But this right here, this whole outrage culture, and you can take those tweets however you want them, but unless they personally affect you, why fucking say anything? Why take and add on to the furor that's already been done over from somebody who was just trying to take somebody out because they said something that they disagreed with, and that's all this is over. That's it. They do not agree with that person's stance on President Trump. That's what it's over. That right there in a nutshell. This guy got pissed off. Number one, he got into a Twitter war with Ben Shapiro, who is a staunch conservative, and he said negative stuff about Trump on his Twitter recently. That right there is the reason why. And now he gets the man fired, and he brings up these tweets for everybody to see, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, this is just you should never joke. Oh, it's awful, it's awful, it's awful." And they're not looking at anything else. Not looking at anything else. These right here from 6 to 9 years ago I don't think these got the man fired. Disney, they take and do their background work, so it's not like they didn't know that he had said some stuff before. He had already apologized for it, so it's not like they didn't know about him. So apparently they were looking for a reason to get rid of the man. But everybody's taking a look at, oh, look this. Fuck the shit out of the little pussy boys next to me. He's The Expendables. The Expendables. So, testosterone. Pussy boys. He's not talking about little boys. He's talking about fucking meathead dumb shits that. Anywho, people just. Context. It's what you got to take everything in. Context. And nobody takes anything in context. Oh, gives a kid a blowjob. Oh my God, it's pedophilia. Shut the fuck up. Really, shut up. It's just this whole faux outrage culture in and of itself is just damaging to the country. I mean, it's what's led to the uprising of groups like Antifa and stuff like that. And yeah, they're a popular thing right now amongst people who disagree with the president we have now and conservatism and everything like that. I hate to tell you this, the tactics they're using, whether it be a protest or whether they are protesting stuff like Ben Shapiro or Milo, the former editor-in-chief at Breitbart, or anybody. It doesn't matter if their views don't take a line up with yours or if you think they're a certain way. We have freedom of speech in this country. And yes, I understand that you have a right to protest, but you don't have a right to bring a baseball bat and beat somebody in the fucking head with it during that protest. You just don't. That's not something we do in this country. That's not a protest. That's a riot. That's what that's called. And that's another delineation in this country that has really just deteriorated. People no longer know the difference between a protest and a riot. Simple as that. But this stuff right here, to take in just this groupthink mentality, it's going to lead to we're already seeing it to where if you do not have a popular opinion, you're getting shouted down. You're getting shouted down, you're getting shouted at. People are they're out to ruin you. We're going to see it's already a form of thought police. Because I say thought police as speech police. It's going to lead to stuff like thought police. And it's going to lead to things such as if a book comes out that that the accepted mass majority of people don't agree with, well, it's going to lead to that book being banned from being written and then or from being read by the public. And then you get the territory stuff like Fahrenheit 451. And really, is that something we want in this country? I mean, our forefathers took and fought and bled and died in this, so we can have the freedoms that we have. Not so some asshat that wants to take and wear a black do-rag or a black handkerchief over his mouth can take and shout everybody down. And then the idiot media can sit there, oh, that's awful, that's awful, that's awful. And all it takes is somebody catching hold of something on a social media platform and deeming it wrong. And then everybody jumps in. And once everybody jumps in, then the public perception shifts to that's wrong. And it's accepted. And it's not right. This is the type of shit that our country, if some serious stuff doesn't start happening here soon, then we're going to be in a lot worse times than we are now. The reason why I named the page, the YouTube channel, and the Twitch channel that I'm doing, the reason why I've named this the Silent Middle is because the middle class for the longest time has been, the silent majority. And I think it's time that they stop being so silent. I really do, because if not, we're going to take and start losing a lot of the freedoms that we enjoy right now, as much as they seem to be encroached on. We're going to start losing a lot more of them. We just are. And it's crazy because a buddy of mine said, hey, you need to take and start a YouTube. 2.6 thousand. And I thought about it and I was like, you know what? I know we've got Hannity and we've got Rush and we've got, different people like that. You've got Ben Shapiro that goes live. You've got Steven Crowder that goes live. And that being the case, we still don't have enough people talking out about stuff like this that really matters in this country. Stuff that if we don't do something, if we don't start alerting people to, hey, we've got to change the fact that this is not right. We've got to let people know it's not right. If we don't start doing that, the vocal minority, the squeaky wheel, they're going to take and plow us under. And I just can't. I've got 4 kids. I want them to take and grow up in a better society than I have, and right now it's not headed in that direction. So that's the reason. That's the reason why I started this. This right here. This whole thing right here is the whole reason why I was like, you know what? My buddy's right. Of course, I seem to be a lot better at politics and talking politics than I am at gaming, unless it's an RPG and it's turn-based. And I was like, you know what? It's time to stop being so much on the sidelines and actually try to educate people, or at least talk about what's going on and give a viewpoint of somebody who's in that silent majority, rather than sitting back and be like, oh, this is fucked up, oh, this is awful, and not doing a damn thing about it. So my next stream I'm going to take and do Tuesday, and I don't know if I'm going to stream it just on here. I might take and do a double broadcast from here and Twitch, or here and YouTube. But the next one's going to be on why Trump isn't a fascist, and the difference between what's being called fascist and nationalist, and what is actually fascist and nationalist. Because I think that's another problem in this nation, is everybody's being labeled as, oh, you're fascist, oh, they're fascist, and they really don't have a concept of what fascism really is, nor that they don't really have an idea of what Nazism really is, because Nazism is a lot more than just racism, a whole lot more than racism, because they share a lot of ideals with socialists, a lot. So Tuesday night, 9 o'clock, I'll do this again, and if you enjoy what you've seen, I'm going to take and put this up on YouTube. Share it around. Tell folks. Because, I mean, honestly, like I said, I think more people need to start talking out. So, no, I haven't watched any of John Mulaney stand-up. I'm doing Facebook Live. Did that not come through? Anyways. Anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed it, and everybody have a good evening. Thanks, Mr. Milton, and thanks, Wifey, for watching. Love y'all.